So Gary, you mentioned something about the millennials speaking to that, knowing that if we do all that we can do, then we can make a greater difference in the world. Is that what you said? Because that's what I wrote down, and
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, so that's really general. No, this was specific. The comment is that they were praising the idea that we were focusing on everyone doing what they can do, as opposed to a system that basically meant that those who are of means, they have a greater sense of ownership. And so the folks who don't have means can't have that same sense of ownership, you see. And so it's that person, this millennial, saw in my presentation that was dissolving by virtue of us moving out of the tithing-based funding model, because this young person saw that their effort was doing what they can do, but then when you bring it into tithing practice, then that changes the whole relationship to the dynamic. And so it was a validation that that's a hindrance to that demographic. I don't know if I'm making sense or conveying that clearly, but that's sort of what how I was.
So let me try to say that back. So then would it be, if we all do what we can do, then I'm able to contribute at a level that is the same as someone else, and that is that I make a difference, that my life matters.
Okay, so yes, so let me offer further clarification. Whenever we say doing what you can do, it's always in the presence of our effort to move the needle. So we don't want to make it a kind of pet slogan. We don't want to make it a slogan. We want to use it in a specific way. And so I was just sharing that this person felt that the dynamic of tithing meant that if you had means and therefore could participate in tithing. So most people won't get past giving 10% of their income back to the church right out of the gate. The millennials tell me, well, I would tithe on my increase, but not on my whole income. So you see, they're already perceiving a kind of gimmick associated with the practice that I can't resolve for them. So I resolve it by saying that's not the funding model that we want to put in front of you, this age group. We want them to feel empowered so that their sense of doing what they can do is in integrity with them doing what they can do. And that's an individual piece of integrity. The person of means, yeah, they can do $1 billion maybe, but they're not doing that. But there's a difference between what a person does that's in integrity with their owning something. And when everybody has that shared sense, it's not how much they give, it's from where they give. That creates the coherence that begins to move and creates cultural tipping points. And this is very subtle, and it's very hard to describe. I'm really getting that the young people want to be empowered and want to not be made to feel like what they can do isn't sufficient. And we may inadvertently create that sense of insufficiency by trying to promote our prosperity programs. That's just my opinion. All right, Joanne, you're on. Unmute yourself.
Okay, so what I was thinking in listening to all of this was that what you're talking about is really a capability. And capabilities ebb and flow with your life. So a young person who has student loans and needs to buy a car has a small financial capability, but in a year with a better job, a better car payment, whatever it is, their financial capability to contribute increases. And so what you're really talking about for your cooperative is to have a flow of capabilities so that everyone recognizes what you're capable of giving today is excellent, and what if you're, if it goes up, if it goes down, but the flow is just part of life,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is a very good way of framing it. And in actuality, this is what's happened. And that is, people have been contacting us and saying, I can't do what I want to do right now because of, my wife's sick and we have to focus on health. And then we have people saying, this happened to me and I can do more. You're right. And the same person who says, I can't do this like I have been, a year later, will all of a sudden there'll be a change, and you're right, they make up for it or they do something that is back on track. And that's a good observation, Joanne.